Greetings, friends. Father John here with our youth minister, Daniel. Yeah, I call him Danny Boy. I love it. Yeah, and he's here to help me out, okay? Because last 2 weeks we had Pedro involved in our Pastorgrams, and we're rolling this new program out, and there's so much information. I'm not sure how far we'll get to it today, but I hope we get through the whole thing, right? Now, last week with Pedro, we sort of discussed the program from the kids' perspective when they're here. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about from the parents' perspective and what's involved with that. Okay, because after all, this is a family-based thing.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
And if we fail at that, we fail at everything, right? Okay, so anyways, yes, for the parents, we have things, especially for, and I'd like to center in today, for the parents with the first Eucharist, okay, because that's the second grade and maybe third grade as well, huh, Daniel? And you read this book, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really cool. One best thing. You know, as an educator and as a pastor, I've always known that it all turns on desire. If we have desire, things are just going to happen.
Yeah.
If we don't have desire, it's not going to happen. Have you ever noticed that? Or?
Very much.
Yeah.
The heart matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Laval.
And so I've been thinking, I always wondered, how in the world do we help cultivate desire? And really, this book really helps us, right?
Yeah.
Because it talks about, what does it talk about? Natural desires, and what are they for? Do you
Exactly. The spiritual feeding therapy takes from what is it that responds to my heart? Or actually, was it my mind or my heart? Truth, beauty, or goodness?
Mm-hmm.
That which speaks to us, and allow that is the place of transformation.
Right. And so if we can inspire the appetites of not only our kids, but our own selves, because if we aren't hungry ourselves, the kids aren't going to do it, be hungry. If we can inspire ourselves to taste and see if the Lord is good. But I mean, that we all have this natural love for goodness, beauty, and truth. And this helps us. It's called the one best thing, and it's our desire. It's our happiness. So, okay, so for our parents who will be coming in as well with their children for the first Eucharist, we will have a program of opening up to them, to you. How do we go about creating a culture in our family?
Yes. So on that in particular, it's what I love about the one best thing in bringing in the students is when they go through this youth ministry model inside their classes, and they're learning all these things. There's the games, there's the tricks and the tips. They're learning about prayer, but the kids are going to go home. What does mom and dad do? Like, how do we pick up from there?
Yeah.
And that's what throughout the semester, throughout the two sessions, the spring and the fall, to really hit on what the one best thing is. How do I converse with my student or my kiddo?
Yeah.
How do I talk with them?
Right.
Because we want what happens here at SJCC to continue at home in the way that the parent can best communicate. So say I'm a dad and I personally receive through goodness and beauty, but my kiddo is a huge intellectual. He loves thinking about even if he's young, he loves to ask those crazy questions about the faith that just kind of stump him.
Right.
Well, I can understand that I am filled by goodness, by service, by seeing a movie or by seeing some act of charity. But maybe for this little talk with him, like, hey son, have you ever thought about like what the rosary means? And getting his mind to cook.
Right. And so there's like 3 steps here, isn't it? Like developing trust with your kid.
Yeah.
Right. That's fundamental, right? And then if you can model it, right? That's the next step of modeling this. And then finally, there's this thing called the cloud of witnesses, which is kind of like the bigger family. So we have our own nuclear family, right? And we're trying our best, and we will be this year, to support you, to help your children grow in goodness, beauty, and truth. Now, there's the trust, and we want to help you to learn how to model this, but also you're not alone because you've got the cloud of witnesses, right? Which is, there's so many things, good things packed in here. 2,000 years of church histories of our uncles and aunts and grandparents in the faith that go back to, St. Augustine, all this sort of stuff. It's just gems in that, hey, our narrative is not just one little family narrative here. It's a big, long narrative, and the kids get a sense that they're part of something big and long, and they know who they are, right? Do I have that right?
You're hitting it on the head, because the cloud of witnesses are the saints that have gone before us.
Right.
The saints here around us, and then it calls us to follow those saints and to be the saint that we were always made to be as well. Yeah.
Right. So, there's so much more, but I hope you understand that this is what we mean by a family-based approach, okay? We engage the kids where they are, and we engage the parents, and bringing those two elements together in the home, because it has to happen in the home. And finally, I got to make a pitch. And that's this. To make this work, we need 50 of our people to be group leaders on those 2 6-week sessions. 50. You don't have to be a catechist. You don't have to be anything, all that deep and theological.
Yeah.
Just be there because you love kids.
Yeah.
And just facilitate their small groups by asking questions that we will lay there before you. Because when we baptize, especially in the context of a mass,
yes,
you, the congregation, are making vows to help those children grow up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, right?
correct.
And this is a venue by which we can actually have you help. I'm making the plea. We need 50 people. Don't you want to be part of something exciting like this? And I'm going to be rustling around through the bushes this week, this next few weeks, next few months, I say, to get. We have to make this work. Don't we?
Yeah. What I love about this is, no, you don't need to have a theology degree. You don't need to be this theological whiz. But we need you, the people of St. Joseph here, to respond in love, to be with the students from the early ages on. Because when a teen, or because I'm a youth minister, when our teens come into small group and they know that they can trust, and that we trust them, the conversations, it just opens up.
Yeah. Well, thank you, young Danny boy, and I'm hoping to be working. We're hoping to work with you, right?
Yeah.
With our kids. It's something we had to do as a church. God bless.